Okay, so it's been a while since I've actually covered Record of Ragnarok on the channel, and I have a pretty good reason, and that's because I feel like I just haven't been that interested in the current fight of Record of Ragnarok, which isn't a bad thing because the fight isn't bad, but I just feel like compared to Hepburn versus Buddha, it's definitely not as good. But anyway, apart from that, the reason I kind of came back to covering Record of Ragnarok is because of something pretty circumstantial, you could say, or it's just due to circumstance. Because I guess the recent chapter, or chapter 59, which isn't the latest one, but it's one of the recent chapters, has kind of covered over, or has kind of went over Qin Shi Huang's backstory. And Qin Shi Huang's backstory is actually identical, or is the exact same as a character in Kingdom that is, I guess, one of my favorite characters in Kingdom, Sei, the king of Qin. And I guess Sei and Qin Shi Huang are literally both the same person, but just have different names. But of course, Qin Shi Huang, I guess he managed to unify China in under 25 or in 25 years. So that kind of gives me a good idea of how long I guess Sei is going to take in Kingdom to unify all of China. So I just found that pretty cool. And I was like, let me just cover some Record of Ragnarok because why not? It's been like 3 months. But anyway, as you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about my predictions for chapter 62, and I'm going to be quickly going over what happened in chapter 60 and 61. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's just get into the video. Now, starting off with, I guess, some of the things that happened in chapter 60, and this is going to be pretty quick. Like, this is not going to take too long at all. It's going to be like quick summaries of what happened in those chapters. In chapter 60, not a lot of things happened. Most of it was just like fighting and exchange of dialogue between Qin Shi Huang and Hades. We also see like some explanations about Qin Shi Huang's ability and why Hades is in kind of big trouble against Qin Shi Huang by Hermes and Ares. I forgot their names for a second. I'm pretty sure it's Hermes and Ares. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But of course, that's pretty much what happened in chapter 60. Not too many things happened in that chapter. It was an okay chapter, but as you guys know, this month was a double release. So in chapter 61, we see probably one of the most interesting things that's happened so far in these like past 6-7 chapters, and that is of course Beelzebub. And we know whenever Beelzebub is on the screen, I guess some things are gonna happen, or some interesting things are gonna happen, and something interesting did happen, sorry. And Beelzebub actually revealed to us that he's actually creating these monsters to actually create a monster one day that is strong enough to kill him. And I guess that's what he was trying to do with Hades. And I guess in this chapter we see that he makes a weaker monster, or a failed monster, and that monster was pretty weak. And I guess we showcased some of his abilities, well, one of his abilities, I guess, and he was able to like quickly move out of the way of the monster's attack and was able to slice off its hand. And Adamas also came in, and Adamas revealed to us that I guess Hades is actually their brother. So Beelzebub, Adamas, Hades, and Poseidon are all related apparently. And Beelzebub also said that he thinks Hades is going to lose this fight, which I also agree with. At one point I was a Hades supporter, but after Qin Shi Huang's backstory, I really want Qin Shi Huang to win. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the coverage of the last chapter. Well, I guess Adamas also says that, Hades wouldn't fall that easily since he's the king of the underworld, etc, etc. So it's basically a way of saying that this fight could go either way. But moving on to, I guess, my predictions for the next chapter. Now, personally, I don't think this fight is going to last another 5 chapters. Like, this chapter should technically wrap up in like 2 chapters. That's kind of my prediction. I mean, the fight could wrap up in literally the next chapter, who knows? And it's looking like that, to be honest, because we see that Hades at the end of chapter 61 just straight up slices his chest, or I guess is implying that he's going to use himself as like a sacrifice, and etc, etc, and he's paying homage to Poseidon and how he died and everything. So it looks like the next chapter might be the last chapter of this fight, which I guess would be, I mean, this fight would be pretty good, but as I said, it's not as good as like Buddha versus Hepburn in my opinion. But of course, in the next chapter, I'm expecting Qin Shi Huang to win. Basically, I mean, solely off of how long his backstory is, I'm guessing the author kind of already has, I guess, revealed that he wants Qin Shi Huang to win, since Hades didn't really have much of a backstory, or maybe Hades might receive a backstory in the next chapter, who knows, because we haven't necessarily seen his backstory, I don't think. So, you know, we could get a Hades backstory in the next chapter, but I doubt that will like change many people's minds, and most people would probably just want Qin Shi Huang to win. And of course, in the next chapter, I'm expecting, I guess, maybe even a draw to happen. Even, I guess, if Qin Shi Huang doesn't win, I'm expecting it to be a draw where both of them die. And I guess the whole king thing, because there's a whole theme of who is the better king, you know, between Hades and Qin Shi Huang. And I guess that's kind of like gonna settle the whole debate and be like, oh, maybe we're both really strong kings or something like that. So, you know, a draw could also happen, and we haven't seen a draw so far in the series, so that would be a pretty good twist in my opinion. I feel like a draw would be pretty cool, and maybe that might even boost my liking for this fight, because I mean, as I said before, this fight isn't my favorite, but it's not also the worst fight I've seen in Record of Ragnarok. So, you know, maybe if we were to get a little plot twist like that, I would, you know, that would be really good. And I feel like a lot of the fan base might actually like that, because I feel like there's some, I guess, conflict in the fan base sometimes, where like people want one side to win because of like other reasons, like what country they're from and etc etc. And, you know, people might drop the series for that reason. So, you know, for example, I think I heard something about the author always making Japanese fighters win. I'm pretty sure it was Japanese or Chinese fighters. I'm not sure which one, but you can tell me in the comments if I've got it wrong. My memory of Record of Ragnarok is pretty hazy, because I haven't read the series in like 3 months, until like a few hours ago, where I caught up with the chapters. But, you know, anyway, as I said before, a draw would be good, but I'm not too sure if a draw would happen, because maybe it's too early on in the series for a draw, because we still have quite a lot of fighters to go, and maybe we might get a draw in the next fight or the fight after that. But, you know, more than one draw isn't like, you know, it's not like it's impossible to have more than one draw. So, I mean, a draw is very possible, but my final predictions would be like either it's a draw or Qin Shi Huang wins in the next chapter or the next couple of chapters. But apart from that, that's pretty much it for this video, to be honest. If you liked the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Record of Ragnarok right now is in an interesting position. I feel like depending on how this fight ends, a lot of people could drop the series, or a lot of people could pick it back up. You know, that's just what I see from just like, I guess, a casual Record of Ragnarok viewer or reader. Well, yeah, from my perspective, that's just how I see things happening. But apart from that, yeah, I'll see you in my next video.